Right now, after-hour stock trading is in the red, just hours after market indexes took their worst tumble in years. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. This all comes as fears of another recession hit a boiling point. But are those fears substantiated? Raya Katene joins us with a closer look and what it might mean for you. Raya?
Well, Julie, it's not exactly a yes or a no. This is really a game of probability. The question economists are trying to answer is what are the chances that we could be heading into a recession? And those chances are still relatively low, but economists say they're growing as tariffs and rising prices bring more uncertainty for consumers. Still, the U.S. Commerce Secretary emphasizes there will be no recession this year.
I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country.
President Donald Trump says you can expect a period of transition as concerns build over tariffs and a possible trade war. U.S. stocks plunged on Monday after the president didn't rule out the possibility of a recession.
I hate to predict things like that.
I think it's too soon to be worried.
Tyler Shippers, an economics professor at the University of St. Thomas. He says it's difficult to predict if we're approaching a recession, and mixed signals like more jobs but less consumer spending only add to the uncertainty.
It is one of those times where my ears perk up, start trying to figure out the overall picture and say, what are the data points that are pointing to strength and what are the data points that maybe are pointing towards weakness?
Shipper says one area of concern is consumer spending. Data shows Americans are spending less money, which Shipper says can be worrying since consumer spending makes up about 70% of the country's economic growth.
And if they're concerned, they can kind of close their wallets, and that can show up in all kinds of things in the economy.
Despite consumers' uncertainty and stock market chaos, Shipper says the probability of heading into a recession this year is still low. Goldman Sachs puts the odds at 20%, a percentage Shipper agrees with.
Right now, it's not a 5-alarm fire.
It is also important to remember that even though the two are closely related, the stock market is not the economy. So even though there's some uncertainty at the moment, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says the American economy is still in good shape. Julie?
All right. Thank you, Raya.